Life has completely changed from how it was 100 years ago. Under a new technological era, America has established a nation of innovation, creativity, and civic engagement, and this is all thanks to the widespread gift of Internet. The Internet has revolutionized our lives, so much to the extent that it is now one of our preferred ways of communications. In almost everything we do, we use the Internet. Like ordering a pizza, Google, Snapchat, gaming, memeing, cat videos, you name it. We use the Internet for it.
The Internet has been so widely accepted by Americans due to its principle of net neutrality. For example, to watch YouTube, browse Twitter, or whatever it is you do on the Internet, you need an Internet service provider to connect you to that content. Net neutrality demands that ISPs treat all web traffic the same. This means that no ISPs can get preferential treatment to consumers, so ISPs can't split sites into fast or slow lanes, and everyone gets the same access to sites like YouTube or Facebook, and everyone receives similar connection speeds. This means ISPs can't ruin your 12-hour Netflix binge by slowing down your streaming speeds because the company isn't paying enough money. Essentially, net neutrality ensures an equal playing field for all who use the Internet.
Oh boy! I can't wait to watch the YouTubes!
Sometimes bipolar wonders.
Many hours later.
Still, man. Ooh, do I wanna? I gotta pay for the mortgage. Okay, fine. Yes.
Is this what you want? Okay, perhaps this was a bit of an exaggeration, but well, something like this could become a reality quite soon. The Federal Communications Commission has voted to repeal net neutrality protections. Here's what this means for us.
Without net neutrality, this could mean ISPs can control what you see and how fast you see it. You may have to pay more money to browse your favorite sites. There could be a decrease in the quality of content. Companies will gain the ability to sell internet like cable and packages.
But most importantly, it attacks the foundations of what makes America so democratic. It hinders free speech.
But that's not all.
Ever since the FCC was created, they've been in charge of regulating interstate communications by radio, television, and eventually the internet. But, while the FCC did promote net neutrality, they never really enforced it until 2005, when Comcast was caught slowing websites. As a result, in 2010, which was the Obama era, the FCC Open Internet Order was approved, which passed some basic net neutrality principles. This form of net neutrality basically gave innovators a level playing field and prevented website blocking. This is why repealing net neutrality was such a big deal, because so many companies have been built up with net neutrality present, and so they had a level playing field with each other, aka no discrimination. So repealing it changes the field from what other companies were built off of. A great example of this was Facebook, which started off small but still grew despite being created in someone's apartment. Repealing net neutrality gives the already big companies a major advantage over the smaller upcoming ones, and it's completely at an ISP's discretion if they want to mute the voice of those smaller companies or not. Under the reign of net neutrality, everything ran smoothly, the people were happy, corporations were happy, Mom and pop sites were happy, and a majority of people believe they should stay that way. Above all, America was built upon the idea of free speech and equal opportunity. But by annulling net neutrality, the FCC is fabricating a colossal corporate wall which will divide the internet into have and have-nots and erode away America's free speech. But let's hear from a professional. Here's economics major Alan Watts with his take on net neutrality. So, Mr. Smith, what can you tell me about the economic implications of the net neutrality repeal? And what are some of the things that people are so afraid of?
Well, first off, one of the things that has people worried is that without the legal protections of net neutrality, ISPs will have the ability to divvy up the internet and start selling it in packages or plans like you would see for cable television. This is actually already happening in other parts of the world. Take Portugal, for example, a place which doesn't have net neutrality. In Portugal's ISPs have taken full advantage of the lack of net neutrality regulations by breaking up their internet access in plans that mimic what you might see for cable television in the US.
But in the US, we have a free market. If ISPs start doing things that customers don't like, they can just switch to a new provider, right?
Actually, for most people, the answer is no, they can't. For most businesses, the effects of competition in the free market would be enough to ensure a good service to customers. ISPs, though, are different in this regard. Many U.S. citizens have little choice in who their internet service provider is, a fact especially evident in states like Colorado, where many customers are likely to have even one high-speed internet provider available with them. So if their ISP decides to start charging them more money or impose new conditions on their internet connection, they have no choice but to accept them or to not have internet at all.
So how could all this affect the economy?
If ISPs decide to start discriminating the data they stream and charging companies more to load faster, it would make it a lot harder for new businesses to become successful in the market, as they would likely not be able to afford the extra cost. By extension, this makes it harder for new ideas and products to enter the market, which by definition is bad for the economy.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Smith.
Get out of my house.
Is it on? Is it recording?
Yeah, you're off RAM.
Oh.
Off center. There.
What take is this?
I think it's scene 5, take 5.
Okay. What's that noise?
My documentary!
People adore the innovation that the internet has fostered, the society made possible under the rules of net neutrality. That's exactly why the repeal of net neutrality caused such a public outcry. It attacks the very foundations of what has made America successful, its open and free nature.
According to an article by the New York Times, in the week since the FCC released a plan to scrap existing rules for internet delivery, more than 200,000 phone calls, organized through online campaigns, have been placed at Congress in protest. An additional 500,000 comments have been left on the agency's website.
The FCC has eliminated the well-beloved rules of net neutrality. That's bad, but here's what's good. This misguided decision mobilized the sleeping giants, the American people. This issue is too important for our people to ignore. They'll take the fight to the courts, the Congress. They won't stop until they eradicate this virus that is so detrimental to American society.
Hi, I'm Jayden Barries-Dunn, and I'm on my way to interview AP Government and Politics teacher Scott Darby to receive his opinion on net neutrality. So without net neutrality, ISPs would be able to control what you see as well as how fast you see it. Do you think ISPs should be allowed to do this?
No, I don't think so. I think that all websites should be able to be free to have access to consumers and same speeds.
With how widespread the internet has become, should equality of internet be a human right?
It's really an equity about access to information. Now you have to be successful, especially in our educational system, to be able to have access to this information. I'm beginning to think that yes, it's becoming an equity and human right issue.
Why do you think advocates want the internet to be regulated? Do you think they are justified?
I think ISPs would like to regulate it. They see a business opportunity for websites themselves to pay the providers to have preferred speeds and preferred access to individual people. I think that if we're looking at it as an equity issue, that needs to override the business component of it.
People use the internet for just about everything. Do you think the end of net neutrality will hurt American democracy?
I would hope not. I certainly hope Congress takes a second look at this. I would think that, again, since we need to have this, for democracy to function properly, people need to have access to different ideas and to the information. It's my hope that Congress takes a second look at this.
Do you think people take the internet for granted?
Until it's down, then they realize what an important component it is to their life. I think they do take it for granted until it's gone.
In 2018, the University of Maryland surveyed 1,077 voters and discovered that 83% opposed repealing net neutrality. This includes 75% of Republicans. That's absurd to apprehend because Republicans are very corporate focused, and so one would think that they will be 100% on board for the repeal. In essence, net neutrality is so fundamental to American society that even in this age of polarization where ideologies are so extreme that opposing political parties never agree with another, are united under the idea of a free and open internet. That's American democracy in action, working together for a common good. Repealing net neutrality is not the internet we were promised. Net neutrality should not be a privilege ISPs give to us. It should be a fundamental human right that we always have. We were promised an internet that would foster innovation, spark creativity, and embrace freedom. We cannot allow companies to dominate our freedom of the internet and destroy the wonderful internet culture Americans have cultivated over the years. The culture of net neutrality has allowed America to be a successful America, a country comprising of an exceedingly diverse network of different perspectives, yet able to unite together under a common and equal media platform. Without net neutrality protections, the internet culture we have built up over the years will be destroyed, and the everyday lives of Americans will be drastically changed.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Under the reign of net neutrality, everything ran smoothly. The people were happy, corporations were happy, mom and pop sites were happy, and a majority of people believe it should stay that way. It's a core part of American society to protest against tyranny of the government, and the repeal of net neutrality is no different.
America is an enormously diverse culture with a vast variety of different viewpoints, but one thing binds them all together: the internet. And this internet-centric society won't stand down until internet openness is the law of the land.
No! Don't let the government strip away your internet free speech. Do what's right. After all, isn't democracy what America's all about?